Hello Aries, this is Ashley. Today we're going to be doing your reading for the last week of September. So it'll be for the week of September 26th. And that week kind of trails into the first couple of days of October. I will be doing October readings as well. Another thing to keep your eye out for, I'm going to be doing bonus readings for each of the signs. I'll try and tag or add that video at the end of this video, and it will be for the Mercury retrograde. So I'll be doing one for each of the signs. So keep your eyes peeled for that at the end of this video. So in this video, we're going to look at a strength, a challenge, and the outcome for you. And we'll do a spread, a 9-card spread, and try and get some details. Now, for fire signs, I am filming this on the 20th of September, which, as you may know, is the full moon in Pisces. So I'm not really sure how these readings are going to go. Sometimes that lunar energy can be really strong. And so this will either go really well or it'll be really difficult. So we'll see if I can tap into my Pisces moon energy here and see what's going on for Aries last week of September. So let's go ahead and see what we have. Pulled out some new oracle decks. I'm going to be using the Dragon Oracle cards, the Wisdom of the Oracle, and then the Oracle of the 7 energies. So we'll see if we get any interesting messages from these guys. Alright. And this is the 5-cent tarot. So we have Justice, the 9 of Swords, and the Strength card, the Knight of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the 3 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Page of Wands. At the bottom of the deck we have the Magician, so could be working on manifestation, could also be dealing with a Gemini or a Virgo. So any new manifestations could be the overall energy of the reading. So we'll see what comes through with that. And let's get started here. So in your first row, which is your strength for that last week of September, we have the Earth Dragon. It says, clears your path and the land around you. Stay grounded, be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing and you can move forward in life. So very grounded energy. Could be taking some practical steps to get things accomplished. In this row we have Justice, the Knight of Swords, and the 2 of Pentacles. Let's see what I'm picking up here overall with this energy. Could be dealing with a Libra, an air sign, or an earth sign to start here. We also have Pisces and Leo on the board, perhaps. And we have the Queen of Swords, so more air sign activity there. I think really it kind of feels like an ability to kind of weigh and balance out perhaps some dramatic energy that's going on. You could be dealing with someone that's being rather dramatic. and just having a good ability to kind of weigh the pros and cons of a situation and see it clearly. With this Hanged Man here as your center card, you're definitely gaining a new perspective on something. And it's kind of interesting too, because in the challenge position, we have chaos and conflict in the reverse. And so really, it's like your strength and your challenge are intermingled. And I've seen that a lot when I do these spreads, where perhaps initially it's challenging and then you get better at it, and that then becomes your strength for the week, because it's really the same meaning, is like, you know, avoiding drama and really looking at things clearly. So there's something here that's clearly causing some stress, and I think you're trying to gain some clarity on how to best balance things out and handle it. And I think you're going to find that the best approach is really kind of the way in which your mind is speaking to you. So if your mind is telling you a bunch of negative stories, that's how it's going to feel and how it's going to play out. If you're having a more positive mindset and reminding yourself of the positives of the situation, I think that will be what drives better collaboration between you and others. So, well, let's see if we can narrow down the detail here. Why do we have Justice? We have the Two of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. With the Knight of Swords, we have the Hermit. So more Virgo energy. And Temperance, which is Sagittarius. And with the Two of Pentacles, we're getting the Queen of Wands. So some Leo coming through there. And the King of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy. It doesn't have to be. It could certainly be any fire sign. So, and I just saw the Lovers. So it does look like this could be kind of trying to weigh the pros and cons of a love situation. We have the Two of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and Justice here, and it looks like someone is coming in with an offer, perhaps wanting to manifest something, to create something, and we already talked about that Magician energy at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like this is a strong soul connection here, specifically because we have the King and Queen of Wands coming out together. So divine counterpart pair here, definitely a soul connection. And I think the balancing act that's taking place is, like I said, kind of weighing the pros and cons, seeing if this relationship is worth it. Like, will it be balanced? Will it be something that you can put time and effort into and receive the same back from that counterpart? Could also just be trying to strike a balance in a relationship situation, perhaps a conflict or an argument, you know, really trying to see both sides of the story and kind of evaluate from there. With this Knight of Swords, the Hermit, and Temperance here, like, we're getting so many cards of that balance, right? You can see how on the Temperance card, she is tempering between these two cups. It's like taking two energies and molding them into a common a common element. So like she's an alchemist, and she's taking her wisdom and her truth and blending that together with that of the other person. So you can see she has 2 cups. We have the 2 of cups. It's kind of like this interesting intermingling between these 2 people here that are showing up. So could be you and your counterpart for sure. Now it's showing up as your strength, and so I think that you're attempting to be very grounded. With the Hermit here, I mean, that's Virgo energy, earth energy, and the Hermit is nothing if not grounded. He's spent his time in this dark night of the soul scaling these mountains and learning spiritual lessons while on that path. And there's a lot of healing energy here as well with the Hermit. He holds the star in his lantern, and Temperance can also be healing energy. And so I feel like you're probably aware that the more grounded, balanced outlook you can have on a situation, the more healing it's going to be for the both of you. So let's see what's coming up in the challenge position. And like I mentioned before, we have this chaos and conflict in the reverse, but it's also in the challenge position. So the challenge, like your strength, is kind of setting aside the chaos and conflict and finding that balanced perspective. We have the 9 of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Swords here. So I do feel like you're trying to really ponder something, get some perspective on it, weighing those pros and cons, seeing both sides of the story. I do feel like this is a pretty stressful situation, and perhaps it's that offer that is coming in from this person wanting to start something solid and grounded with you. Now with the Queen of Swords here, it could be challenging not to bite this person's head off. You know, the Queen of Swords can be quite cutting, straightforward. She doesn't sugarcoat things. And she's also not going to tolerate any BS. And so she can quickly use that sword to cut people out of her life. And I think that that's showing up in the challenge position, because I don't feel that that's something you want to do. I don't think that you want to be brutal and harsh with this person, but clearly they've been the source of a lot of stress for you. And so in a self-protective measure, we can certainly get kind of blunt and a bit rash in our decisions with people, and I think you're trying to gain some new perspective. So Pisces energy, air sign energy, definitely showing up here. Let's see if we can get some more detail on this and why it is showing up as a challenge. The 9 of Swords, we're getting the Emperor, and the 9 of Wands. So there's that self-protective energy I was talking about, Aries. That's your energy showing up there as the Emperor. And as soon as I pulled that Emperor card, I do have the feeling that something about having to be the one that takes control is stressing you out. It almost feels like it's falling on your shoulders to make the best choices here. Why do we have the Hanged Man? Counterparts, we have the Empress showing up. So Emperor, Empress, King and Queen of Wands, definitely a strong soul connection here. We also have the Death card. So trying to decide if this is going to be an abundant relationship, or if you need to end it with this person. It could very well be that you don't feel like this is something that can be reborn, so to speak, with that Empress energy. But again, with it's interesting because we think of like the Emperor as like, I mean, he's bigger than a king. He's all the king's energy put together. And on this Death card, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, the king is dead on this card. And so it's kind of like this energy of, it almost feels like, will this person, this counterpart, actually be the death of you? You know, that saying is kind of what I'm picking up on there. Now, that can certainly be a figurative thing. When we get into all the symbology of tarot, this person could have very well been the cause of an ego death for you, which led to that hermit energy that's showing up there. What do we have? The Queen of Swords. We have the Five of Wands. And the Six of Wands. Yeah, it's like finding the best way to cut out conflict and to do that successfully. Like, how do we handle the conflict in this relationship in a way that is not harsh, but is very clear? Like, these are the expectations. This is the requirement. And at the same time, you're still in this energy of even deciding whether this is something you want to pursue, right? In the outcome, we have the storyteller. And so, like I was saying earlier, the key to what your story is what you're telling yourself. Like, oh, if you're sitting there saying, oh, this is a horrible idea, it's never going to work, then you're right. If you're telling yourself, we could so make this happen, then you're right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it also talks about how the way in which we speak and conversate with other people teaches them how to treat us. And so, you know, with this Hanged Man energy being at the center, you know, kind of gaining this perspective, recognizing that perhaps how you communicate with this counterpart is going to be how they communicate with you, is going to be how they treat you. And so if you're overly humble, right, they might walk all over you. If you're overly controlling, they're going to try and break free. Like, kind of recognizing how you contribute to the outcome of this situation. All right, so we have the Strength card, Leo energy. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Page of Wands here. I do feel like there is some potential here to collaborate with this person and build a new foundation, but it does look like it's going to require a lot of strength on your part. And I do feel like there's a little bit of a sensation that this person is kind of a player, is, you know, maybe not taking things as seriously as you would like them to. There's certainly a spark here that would quickly lead to drama with this person, which we've kind of already talked about, you know, like wanting to cut that out here with that Five of Wands. But there's something about self-mastery here with this Strength card, and how that's going to be exactly what plays out with this person. Because with the King and Queen of Wands, the Emperor and the Empress, and Temperance showing up here, Two of Cups. To me, this feels like there's a strong potential that this is a twin flame reading, with those signifiers showing up for me in particular. I'm not saying that's how it works for every tarot reader, but that for me, that's what that says. And recognizing that your mirror soul, your twin, is going to mirror you. And so I feel like the reason self-mastery is showing up here is because, you know, depending on your level of consciousness, the work you've put in is going to be reflected in the relationship itself, right? So, now it doesn't have to be a twin flame for you, but so just take that as it resonates. Let's get some more detail here. Here we have strength. We have the Two of Swords. And the King of Pentacles, so some Taurus showing up. With the Three of Pentacles, we're getting the Five of Pentacles. And the Ace of Cups. And with the Page of Wands, we're getting the Page of Cups. And the Judgment. So really it's kind of up to you how this goes down. When it comes to this person, they're clearly coming forward, wanting a second chance, right? I've got all these pages showing up. So they're coming forward. We also had the Knight of Swords. So they're coming forward to you, wanting a second chance. Judgment is showing up here. And it's really kind of up to you whether or not you reject this or you offer them back a cup of love and want to begin this again, right? I think the thing that is showing up as the biggest message here is that perhaps with this Two of Swords and the King of Pentacles, perhaps what you're not seeing, you can see she's blindfolded, is that you have the choice, you have the control. I mean, that Aries energy showing up, Emperor's in control, but it's stressing you out that it's being put on your shoulders, right? It's a similar energy with this King of Pentacles, but what I'm also getting from this is that you need to be able to recognize what sort of old thought patterns you're carrying around. So make sure you have a look at that, because showing up here with the Strength card, which is like the courage to take control and look at oneself. I mean, it actually says self-mastery on the top of this card, if it'll focus. So right across the top of the card, it says self-mastery. And so, like, are you able to look at any sort of old baggage that you're toting around that is contributing to that story that you're telling yourself, that you're telling to this counterpart? Because that's exactly what will be mirrored back to you. So you can choose to walk away from this. You can choose to offer them your love and open up. It's definitely going to take some courage, right, to do so. But I mean, it always does when we have to look at ourselves and, you know, kind of see how something we might be doing is being reflected back to us. Something we might be thinking is being reflected back to us. You know, if this person has a habit of being a player, like I was talking about with that Page of Wands, if they're a little fickle, if they're kind of in and out, maybe a little unreliable, in what ways are you being that to yourself? You know, which isn't easy to see all the time. which is kind of why I enjoy doing tarot. It's always been a helpful tool for me because it helps to point out my shadows that I don't see. You know, they're unconscious behaviors. So definitely take a look, and it would certainly be individual for each of you depending on how your person is showing up. Are they showing up in Empress or Emperor energy, or are they behaving like a page? And if that is the case, you know, what ways are you doing that? And that's kind of the rough and tumble of the twin flame journey, right? Or really, I mean, any soulmate is going to play that role for you and be a reflection of what you're willing to accept and what you accept within yourself or don't accept within yourself. So it's kind of an interesting, paradoxical situation here, but I do feel like with it showing up as your strength and your weakness, to try and find that middle ground, weigh those pros and cons. I feel like with this energy that we just talked about, part of that justice scale is that light and shadow aspect of self and how that's showing up, right? So holy moly. Okay, I hope that was helpful, Aries. Like I said, at the end of this video, I will link the Mercury retrograde reading for Aries, and I hope you'll check that out. That is going on for about 2 months if you include the pre and post shadow, which I'll talk about in the video, but we're going to look at before, during, and after retrograde and what might be coming up for you. So you might find that helpful. I will see you in the next one. Bye.